Change in life must be paid for, either by paying for change immediately or by paying for the lack of change later. Hello, and may God bless you with an evening that suits you, smiling with your presence. I come to you with wings of love and longing. I ask God Almighty to make this a useful and enjoyable session, God willing. Great, Doctor. I always like to ask questions all the time, and maybe you and I have taken a lot of experience from a previous meeting. Many people today talk a lot about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is everywhere. Everyone has their own interpretation and definition, but today I want to hear your view of emotional intelligence. Have you ever called someone stupid? Have you ever said to someone, "You're stupid," or been called stupid yourself? I have. You see, I swear to God, for no reason at all. I don't know why, but it was a resounding, "You're stupid." So, if we start with the definition of intelligence, it says that intelligence is the gift of choice from God to man, after the certainty that God gave him the choice. So, whoever wants to believe, let him believe, and whoever wants to disbelieve, let him disbelieve. The gift of choice is to make good choices, my brother, in the words you speak, in the best way. My brother, walk well, dress well, choose well in your adversaries. Some people, glory be to God, even in their adversaries. I swear to God, I like to argue with them, because I enjoy it, because they are polite in all situations and kind in all situations. In your way, my brother, choose well. This is one type of intelligence and choice in life in general. Some people, unfortunately, do not make good choices in their lives. There is an important rule in life. Whatever you are doing now, there is always something better. In every habit, in every behavior, and even in the way of thinking, there is a higher level that can be reached. Here, the concept of intelligence appears to us as the optimal use of resources. The most important resources we have now are time, mind, the security and safety in which we live, family, and all the blessings God has given us. These are all resources, and true intelligence is investing them wisely. The Algerian thinker Malik said something profound. True effectiveness is the optimal use of resources. The reality is that many people are deprived of some of their resources, their time is wasted without effect, and their talents and abilities have not yet been discovered, or they have not recognized them at all, and this is one of the most dangerous forms of loss of intelligence. For a long time, intelligence was seen as a high IQ score, a measure of mental abilities, analysis, synthesis, and memory. They say that Bill Gates' IQ is close to 145, while Einstein's was 180. This is one type of intelligence, but it is not the only one. Then came a new scientist, Gardner, who introduced us to the concept of multiple intelligences in his book Frames of Mind, saying that there are 7 types of intelligence, not just one. These intelligences include logical or mental intelligence, related to analysis, calculation, and deduction. Environmental intelligence, a person's ability to interact with the environment and creatures around them. Some people interact with animals with astonishing skill, as if they share a common language. Linguistic intelligence, a person's ability to express themselves, to write, and to speak. Some people, when they pick up a microphone, excel, as if words open doors for them. Here is an important piece of advice. In the professional and career field, you will not get far if you do not have the skill of public speaking. Someone once said, "I would rather be whipped 70 times than speak in front of people." Then he endured the pain of the beginning and learned public speaking and oratory. After a while, he said, "Today, I would rather be whipped 100 times than stop talking." That's how beginnings always are painful, then they become a strength. Visual intelligence. Some people, as soon as they see someone, say to you, "This person looks like so-and-so." You look closely and find that the resemblance is indeed striking. Before maps existed, these people knew the way and could describe it to others without error. Musical intelligence. Composers, readers, and those with a musical ear have this intelligence. Physical intelligence. We find it in dancers, athletes, and players who control their bodies with precision. Emotional intelligence. This is the most important intelligence of all, and it is what you rely on in life, because it is the intelligence that leads you to true success. It is not mental intelligence alone that elevates you, nor is it high test scores. Emotional intelligence is what manages your feelings, relationships, decisions, and image in front of people. It is the intelligence that takes you to places that people with high IQs cannot reach. Someone once asked me, "What gets you the job is your intellectual intelligence and your degrees, but what keeps you there and helps you advance?" The truth is that what really gets you there is not just your intellectual intelligence, but your emotional intelligence in both its forms, personal intelligence and social intelligence. You may be wondering, why is emotional intelligence receiving so much attention today? Has it reached the point where even if a person has extraordinary intellectual intelligence, they will not succeed if they lack emotional intelligence? How important is this type of intelligence in our time? Let me give you a clear example. I'm sure you all know someone who is extremely intelligent, has advanced degrees, a specialized field of study, and excellent grades, but is difficult to deal with, someone who is exhausting, annoying, and whom no one wants to be around. Isn't that right? I personally know of more than one such case. I even know a man who has been married 4 times. The reason? It turned out that he lacked emotional intelligence, he couldn't understand people or deal with his feelings, he was quick-tempered, resentful, envious, and constantly suspicious of others. Dealing with him was extremely exhausting. That's why I always say, when mental intelligence is combined with emotional intelligence, a person reaches their full potential. But let me give you a simple statistic. 85% of people with an IQ above 130, those who are close to genius, work under people whose IQ is only around 100. So what is the variable here? The variable is the emotional intelligence of those who lead them. Even the Arabs of old would only appoint the wise as leaders. They did not make a quick-tempered, foolish, or reckless man a leader. If you had a company today, would you put an angry person who has no control over himself in a leadership position? Of course not. Patience, self-control, and wise interaction with people are all essential parts of emotional intelligence. Therefore, emotional intelligence is not an intellectual luxury or a meaningless buzzword. It is a necessity of life. Imagine if the principles of emotional intelligence were taught seriously in schools, divorce rates would drop, addiction rates would decrease, unemployment would fall, and even the prison population would shrink. This is a fact, not an exaggeration. For those of you who are just starting out in life, listen carefully. The life skills you acquire are sometimes more important than your academic qualifications. Learning these skills is your responsibility, not that of your parents, society, the state, or your job. You may ask, why is anxiety so widespread? Why is depression everywhere? Why are relationships so tense? Why do we feel bored? The reason is often a lack of emotional and life skills that help us understand ourselves, interact with others, and manage our feelings. I am no different from you. I get bored sometimes, and I worry like anyone else. But the difference is that emotional intelligence, gives you the tools to deal with these feelings instead of drowning in them.